Hello, welcome to AQA Accounting. In this video, we'll be going through the question on Section B, which is 2020 Paper 2. Section B question 14. Now this question is around activity-based costing, whereby you are required to prepare a statement for 2 products per week and to show the revenue, contribution and profit. Now I started recording this and then halfway through it somehow just cut off, so I thought instead of redoing the whole thing, I'll just continue from where I started. So I'll do a quick run through the information so it avoids me having to redo this video. So what we have is I started drafting the statement. So we have the 2 products, X and Y. We've got the revenue, so we've got the IS format, the revenue. We've got the cost for material and labour, we've got contribution. We've got 2 fixed costs that they mentioned, so we have machinery preparation and quality control, and we've got our bottom line profit. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we'll have a quick look at this data here, activity-based costing, 2 products. We know how many units we're producing. We know the number of units per batch, so they're made in batch production. We've got the material and labour costs. We've also got the machine hours and the labour hours. Each batch has to be reset, the machine has to be reset, and there are costs of 44,160, machinery preparation. This is a fixed cost. There's another fixed cost, which is quality control, and that quality control is done every 300 units, and the cost is 68,310. Selling price, we don't know, but it's based on markup 80% on your variable cost. So to start the question, I drew up revenue, which we can't work out right now. We need to do that based on our variable cost. So I just put the revenue, variable cost, contribution, fixed cost, profit. This is your standard format for you can say, an absorption, an activity-based costing question. The format will also look very, very similar for a marginal costing question. So if you get marginal costing or activity-based costing, you will have revenue, variable cost, contribution. And for marginal costing, it will just say fixed cost, profit. But for activity-based costing, you will specify the costs and work them out in a different way, which we're going to learn in this question. Okay, so hopefully you have a gist of what this scenario is like. So let's start off with revenue. Now, revenue is based on the variable costs. Variable costs are over here, but I've also copied them down here because we need to add them up. I've done that one, and then I must have accidentally pressed the button which cancelled the recording. So I'm going to just add these 2 up again. So we've got 78,000 over here. Okay, so these are our variable costs. Now, the selling price is based on 80% markup, so what we're going to do is we're going to times this by 1.8. Okay, so times 1.8, I'm going to do that one there first, 140,400. 76250 times 1.8 is 137250. This is my revenue. And this is my markup. This is your revenue. We're going to copy that over here. 137250, 140,400. So what do we do to start a question like this? We start off with revenue. You can add your variable costs up, add 80% on top. That gives you your selling price. That's done. The materials, but this is just copied and pasted from here. Nothing that we need to do there. We're now going to work out contribution. So revenue minus these. Okay. And we've got 61,000. I'm just going to double check that figure. 137250 minus 33,750 minus 42,500 gives us 61. Always double check your figures. You never know, might have entered something incorrectly. 140,400 minus 22,750 minus 55,250 gives me 62,400. Okay. Sorry, one moment. Okay, those figures are all correct. So that's our contribution there. Then we've got these fixed costs. Now this is where most of our workings are going to be. So we're going to have W2. Slide this under a little bit so you can see the other side. Bring off a little bit. Okay. Now, W2. W2 is in relation to this. This is our W2. All right, machinery preparation. Now, there's a question like this in the 2023 paper, which I can't share with you. However, you can ask your teacher for it. The process is very, very similar. So if you get a question like this, well, unlikely that you might get a question like this in the 24 paper because it was in 23. This is from 2020. Okay, so they tested it in 2020, they gave a gap of 3 years and they put it in again. So unlikely that you are going to get it, but you're always better off, you know, prepping yourself than being sorry about it. So in terms of this, machinery preparation, the costs are 44,160. Machinery preparation is 44,160. Now, each batch requires machinery to be reset. Okay, so this we need to divide it by something. Each batch requires machinery to be reset. Now for X, we're making 4,500 units in batches of 50. So if we divide it by 50, 4 equals 90. So we're making 90 batches of X, and for Y, making 3,600 divided by 75. Divided by 75 gives us 48 batches of that. Now the total number of batches is 138 in total. So we're going to divide that by 138. What we want to do is work out the cost, the overhead cost of one batch. X batches of 50, Y batches of 75. We're going to make 90 batches there, 48 batches there, 138 for all of them, which means 44,160 divided by 138 gives us a cost of £320 per batch. Okay, now what I'm going to just draw a line here because I'm running a little bit out of space, and I'm going to do workings 3, which is our quality control just there. W3 quality control. And it's going to be very similar. If you want, you can feel free to pause the video, have a go yourself. Okay, but we're going to do the same thing now. The quality control is 68,310. Quality control happens every 300 units. Now, if we're making, and I'm going to just double check this before I talk to you, it should still work, and I'm guessing it's going to work. Okay, it does work. Now for X, we're making 4,500 units. 300 batches a check takes place, so 45 divided by 300 gives us 15 checks. And for Y, we're going to produce 3,600, and the checks happen every 300. That gives us, I think it's 12 divided by 300, 12. Okay, we've got a total of 27 checks happening, quality assurance checks. 68,310 divided by 27 gives us 2530. These underlined figures is the cost per batch. Okay, so in summary, to prepare the machine, it's £320 per batch, and it's £2,530 per batch for quality control. Now for product X happens in every 50 batches. So all we're going to do is we're going to do 320 times 50. 320 times 50. 320 times 50. So for machinery preparation, remember the cost of machinery preparation is 44,160. For X is going to take £16,000 worth of that. Y is going to take, that doesn't look right to me. Let me double check that. No, sorry, I'm not sure what I mentioned before. What did I say before? 16,000 divided by, no. Sorry, that's the number of units per batch. That's wrong, sorry. 320 times 90, 90 batches, not 50 batches. This is 50 per batch. See, I just made an error. I was just about to make an error there. So just to clarify, it's £320 per batch, and it's 90 batches. Each batch is 50. Okay, so 320 times 90, that's actually wrong. We need to cross that out. It does happen. 320 times by 90. And I'll show you a way to check it out. Okay, it looked a bit off to me from the start, but I wasn't 100% sure. 28,800. Y is going to take 48. So we're going to do 48 times 320. And that gives us 15,360. I'll show you how to check it. If you add these two up, it should equal the original number. So 15,360 plus 28,800 gives us 44,160. See, it matches that figure. Before it wouldn't have matched, and I would have spotted it anyway. Anyway, so all we've done is we've taken the cost per batch and we've times it by 90, times it by 48, and put the numbers over there. We're going to do the same thing here. 2530 times by 15. Which is 37,950. We're going to do the same thing, 2530 times 12. 3360. Again, we're just going to double check these two equal the original figure there. 68,310. Okay, so it does match up. These are obviously costs, meaning overheads, so we're just going to put them in brackets, and we're going to finish this off. 61,000 minus 28,800 minus 37,950 gives us 5,750 negative. We're at a loss for that one. The other one is 62,400 minus 15,360 minus 30,360 gives us 16,680. This is a profit. Okay. So just to sort of double check and wrap up here, this question was an activity-based costing question. The revenue was based on the markup of 80%, so we add the variable cost, we add 80% to get the selling price. Do not put this in here and do 80% on top. We do not do that. We add 80% on top of variable costs. So revenue is calculated by adding 80% on. These are what they are from there. Contributions left over. SP minus VC. Selling price minus variable cost is contribution. The main calculations are going to be over here, where you have to work out that the machinery preparation is 44,160 divided by the total number of batches. Okay, now this one we said are made in 50, so they're going to make 90. This one's made in 75 lots, so we got 48. And we do the same thing for that. And then all you do is times the batch by times the batch price by the number of batches made, and then you get your figures, and then you work it through. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of this question, which is activity-based costing. and I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching.